I am very excited about today's topic. It is one of those things that once we learn that it exists, our temptation is to let it rule our minds. And so we are going to talk about it, get it out of the way, talk about why it's important and maybe why it's less important. So, what am I talking about? I am talking about the algorithm. So, the algorithm, and I'm using that term in a very blanket, almost generic fashion. And the reason why I'm using it in that kind of blanket, almost generic fashion is because every platform, just about every platform, trying to think of one that doesn't. Yeah. So, no, every platform runs off of an algorithm of some sort. And because of that, the temptation is to want to try to trick the algorithm. So, if you look up the term algorithm, the automatic fill in that you're going to get for so many of the platforms are going to be like ways to trick the algorithm, how to get the algorithm to do what you want it to do, how to all of these different little things that people want. So, people are out there asking, how do I get the Facebook algorithm to deliver my content to my people? How do I get this algorithm to do that? How do I get the Instagram algorithm? Am I being shadow banned by the Instagram algorithm? I'm in a group of women business owners, and this weekend, one of them asked, she edited a post, she posted something, realized that there was a typo, deleted the post, and then reposted it almost immediately. And she said that post got significantly lower engagement, and she was like, what, am I being banned, what's happening? And it was very interesting conversation. So I wanted to talk about that today. Actually, I wanted to talk about that for a while, and I want to talk about the whole concept of feeding the algorithm, like giving every algorithm kind of what it wants, and being the kind of user of the platform that is leveraging what the platform is there for, but also getting the most out of the platform, whatever platform that is. And I will tell you, the answer is really simple. It's just not one that we want to hear, especially as small business owners, because we have so many other things to do. And we should be focusing on building our businesses. We should be focusing on growing our connections and creating more customer opportunities and engagement and customer service experiences. We should be focused on other things. We should not be focused on trying to beat the algorithm. And because we shouldn't be focused on it, a lot of us are resentful. Like, we are resenting the fact that we need to post on social media at all. We don't want to do it. We want it to not be an issue. And I will say the answer is the thing that is going to make the biggest difference in your life, which is being consistent. So consistency over long periods of time are the key to success with the algorithm. Every single one of them, period. Every single one of them. Consistency over time is the answer. So consistency meaning doing the same thing for a few weeks, not the same thing as consistency over time. So you might have a really big streak and go, I'm going to post on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. And you get up and you do that for the length of time that anyone holds to a resolution. And when you do that, you may see increased results from that. You may not, actually. It depends on which platform you're on and what you're posting. And there's a lot of factors that go into it. But you might get an increased result. Most of the time, you are going to get an increased result if you actually are posting more consistently, even if you're posting things that aren't really what the audience wants, because the platform actually wants you to do it. So the platform's going to give you better results. So you're going to get these increased results, but you're not necessarily going to be able to sustain that because you didn't come into it with a plan. There was no, like, you had that New Year's resolution kind of feeling about it, which is, I'm just going to do it. And when you come at digital marketing and posting to any platform, whether that's email marketing or social media marketing or content marketing, it doesn't matter what kind of marketing it is. If you come at it from the New Year's resolution mindset of, I'm just going to do it. If you try to Nike your way through, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And it doesn't work for very good reasons. The most important of which is that that's not your job. So you have a job, you run a company. And so when you have a job, you run a company, you have the thing that you're doing every day. having this extra added thing that you're kind of New Year's resolutioning yourself or trying to grin and bear it or gut through, or whatever the method is that you are attempting to force yourself to do this thing, especially if it's a thing you don't want to do. Whatever method it is that you're doing is only going to last for about as long as your willpower actually lasts, right? And that's the biggest problem, is that it doesn't last very long. It is very, very fickle. And part of that is because that's not how we're built. We really need to put systems in place. The good thing is that posting to social media for your business is not like going on a diet. You don't have to stick to a plan every day, and you don't have to. Being consistent isn't about torturing yourself. It isn't about motivation. It really, really isn't about any of those things. Being consistent is about planning. And so if we can plan, and I know as business owners, if you're like me and you have business owner ADHD, which I do, I might just have it like regular, but I also have the business version where I'm like, I literally wake up with new ideas every day. I journal them out first thing in the morning so that I don't have the temptation to actually do them all day, every day. But I wake up with new ideas. In the middle of the day, I will have massive epiphanies. I want to change everything about my business. Like every day, I have all of these things going on. It is virtually impossible, if you are running a business, to be consistent if you are not planning it out and then executing in advance or batching in some sort of meaningful fashion in order to get yourself the best result possible. And so what I'm going to encourage everyone to do is to think through how you can be more consistent, and think through how you can be more consistent without you being the person doing it. So if you are the business owner, you need to think, okay, is this something I need to hire out? Is it something that I need to not just hire out? Because when you hire it out, you're still going to have to dedicate time to it. How can I hire it out in a smart way? How can I be consistent without me having to drain my own time and energy? How can I do those things? That is what you need to be focused on, because the algorithms respect consistency, period. Period, blank, period. The more consistent you are, the more it pays off. Just period. Thank you, Pat. That is exactly, even when you think no one's paying attention, being consistent matters. And it matters because there's an algorithm. That's the crazy part. So a lot of us want to act like there's no way to win. There is a way to win. There is a tried and true way to win. Just like there's a tried and true way to lose weight. Like there's a tried and true way to do everything. And the difference, though, is that unlike losing weight, you can't batch exercise and good eating. Like you can't front load your diet, or you're like, okay, on Mondays, I'm just going to eat good for the whole week. You can't do that, right? You have to like eat good every day. Like every food you put in your mouth needs to be something nutritious if you want to like have a healthy body and live a healthy life. That is the truth. Well, with digital marketing, it doesn't have to be that hard. Like we actually have technology to help us be consistent and stay in the game, stay on point. And we have the ability to do it without having to beat ourselves up into doing it, right? And so last week I talked about scheduling software. I've talked about scheduling and batching a lot. I know it's difficult because a lot of times we go into it and we don't know what to do. So over the next 3 months, that is what we're going to talk about, is how to know what to post, when to post, all of those things. But I want you to come at this with the mindset of the only way to beat the algorithm, the only way to win, the best way to win, the best, not even just the only way, because it's not true. There are other ways to win. There are other things you can do. I am not going to tell you what they are because I don't want you doing them. But there are other things you can do that will work, but that will work so temporarily and that will hurt you more in the long run. Not even worth doing. And so we're going to focus on the things that are actually worth doing. We're going to focus on the things that we can control. And consistency is probably the number one thing that is within your control. It is something you can actually do. It is something that is not very costly. It is something that if you can accomplish it, you will have the best outcomes for your business possible if you can accomplish consistency across your digital platforms. Whatever digital platforms you're on, the more consistent you can be, the better. The algorithms all respect consistency. And When I say consistency, I don't mean consistently not doing anything. So that's also a consistency thing. I mean, consistently posting, and that consistently does not have to be every single day. It does not have to be there's no, you guys know I don't believe in there's an answer and you have to do all of these steps. And if you do all of these steps, you'll get the result. Because even if you do literally everything the platform wants you to do, you still don't get guaranteed results. The thing that gets you results over time is consistency over time. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to walk through how to do it. It is not a one-time thing. It's not a one-step process. It is much, much more involved than that. But once you actually get a handle on it and you get processes and systems in place for yourself, it will make your life a ton easier. And yes, Pat, I love the idea of not trying to pick all the platforms at once. That actually will make a big difference depending on your approach to your digital marketing, to not try to be everywhere all the time doing all the things, because again, you run a business. So let us not have our running around, just trying to do everything. Let's focus. And once we figure out what the focus is on, actually being consistent in that place is a really, really good way to go. So that is it for today. I'm not going to go into like the how. The what is what's important here. Consistency matters because it works. That is why to do it. It matters because it works. If you want the algorithm to respect your work and to actually show it to people, the best way to get that to happen is to be consistent. And so we are going to work over the next few months on helping you be more consistent. These Marketing Mondays are meant to help you. They're not here for me. They're here for you. I want you to be able to get what you need to get out of this. And on top of that, it happens to also be quite possibly the most consistent activity that I do for digital marketing across my business. And I will tell you, it is also the one that has been the biggest generator of information for people who end up coming into my courses and hiring me and all the things that I do. Like, it has been the biggest driver, and it is the most consistent activity I do. So if you're wondering how I know consistency works, not just because I have clients who I've experienced this with, which I have, but in addition to that, I have experienced it in my own business. Consistency matters. Okay.